the Chinese government's basically realised the two really big sectors are robotics and AI, and they're throwing ungodly amounts of money at it. While in the UK, we can't build a bridge.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Abroad in Japan podcast. Probably the best way of learning about life in Japan without actually being in Japan. I'm your host, Chris Broad. We're joined as always by England's top Japan enthusiast, Mr. Pete Donaldson. Pete, how the devil are you doing? What's going on?
Chris, I'm in all kinds of trouble, mate. I'm in all kinds of trouble, and only one thing can solve my problem.
Sausages.
The new Steam box thing has come out.
Oh, it looks so good.
It's coming out soon.
I'm gonna buy one.
So Gabe Newell, is it Gabe Newell? Gabe Newell, the boss of Valve, he basically has released, or is about to release, or will release next year, a new kind of like under the telly Steam Deck, but not a Steam Deck in a box.
SteamBox.
For under your telly. A SteamBox. Is it called the SteamBox? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Either way, no matter how much it costs, that looks like something that is right up my street, and I can't afford that sort of silliness, to be quite frank. But so there you go. And
I really want one, because I haven't had a computer for the last 15 years, and certain games I used to play a lot, like Command and Conquer, I can't go back and play them because I've got a Mac and they won't play on it. So I really do want one. And when I saw it come out, I was like, yes, I'm going to buy it. Job done. Thank you, Gabe Newell. Although, please bring out Half-Life 3. I've waited 20 years now.
Well, that's the rumour. That's the rumour that's circling. Obviously, I guess people are getting excited that they announced, I think, a new controller, a new VR headset, and also this SteamBox. I think they're calling it the GabeCube, which I think is a wonderful little thing. But and I think people are sort of confusing that excitement sort of backstage and behind the lines with a possibility that Half-Life 3 might be being released. I don't necessarily believe that, but stranger things have happened, Chris. Stranger things have happened.
No, I
don't know how you keep a project like that secret.
I know. Well, I mean, with Half-Life Alyx, they brought out Half-Life Alyx when was it the Vive that came out? Their headset.
Whatever their Steam VR headset was. Yeah, apparently the new VR headset is very good.
There's been a lot of rumours. I think they'll do it. I think they will do it. If they don't, I'm going to go to Seattle and shout at someone because it's really annoying. You can't end on a game that good on a cliffhanger that annoying and then just walk away from it. I've been waiting 20 years.
Very upsetting. Yeah, but I just think I'm just like, I'm excited by it, but I just know for a fact that it'll sit under my telly and I'll never use it. So what I need is the Abroad in Japan world to just keep on telling me, do not buy it, Pete. Do not buy it. It's going to be a waste of money. You barely play your PlayStation 5. You barely play your PC with a decent graphics card in there. So please don't buy it, okay? Just keep on going on at me. It's the only language I understand.
I mean, I really want to... One of my favourite things I've done the last 18 months was play Ghost of Yawtir for like a whole month.
Oh.
And then I haven't played a game since, really. And
you deserve that, to be fair.
It was a lot of fun. And I want to play the sequel, but there's no time. I literally have no time in the day at the moment. And I'm waiting because September to December is the busiest time of year for doing stuff. The weather is so good. You can go outside and film again for the first time in 4 months in Japan. So it's always the busiest time of year for me. And I think I'm going to just set aside like January and be like, bye everyone, I'm gone, and just play a game in a room. And just that could be it. Ghost of Yawtir.
My Steam Deck that I don't use.
Yeah.
File under reasons why I shouldn't be buying the GabeCube.
Connor's got a Steam Deck and he's always on it, and it does look a bit big and clunky and weird. And
it is large. If the perfect sort of handheld would be that size of, the Nintendo cut down switches, the lights, or whatever they're called.
Yeah,
Nintendo
I've got one.
Light. Nintendo Switch Lite. Like, it's perfect size. Absolutely. It's almost pocketable. You're not that bothered if it breaks or gets scratched. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, there's a lot of that kicking around, really. I'd like something about that size, but I understand why they're not that size, because you need a more powerful processor.
Yeah. But no, I was thinking of getting a PC, but SteamBox could be the way forward. Or
I mean, let's make that very clear, Chris. You could play Command and Conquer now with like a DOS-box kind of wrapper, couldn't you?
Isn't it? My whole life is Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer is my life now. That's how I run my company. I'll show you how to set it up.
Next time I see you in person, I'll put a game on your computer.
Good man.
Get out.
I don't have a computer though, do I? I've got a silly MacBook.
That's what I mean. A Mac. I'll put it on your Mac.
Really?
I play DOS video games all the time. Cruise for a Corpse, Dark Seed. I play them all the hits.
I don't want you corrupting my workflow, my computer, my precious MacBook. We got a story, though, from Andrea from Boston, who says, "Hello, Grizz and Pete. Back in 2010, my college advisor had suggested that my classmates and I submit a paper to a robotics conference in Japan so that the school could pay for a trip for us." That's pretty cool. Our paper was accepted, and we were off to the land of the rising sun. At that point, all my cultural knowledge of Japan came from Big Bird in Japan and the Sailor Moon Club. On our first jet-lagged morning in the hotel, my friend found some robes and slippers in the room and suggested we wear them up to the breakfast buffet. The robes were cute, light and white with blue floral designs, although the slippers had a plasticky, tacky feeling. I agreed to wearing the outfit, thinking these may be what people wore casually around the hotel. And we got out of the elevator to the restaurant. The hostess saw us, and her warm smile instantly fell away to an expression of shock and horror. She spoke in fast, rapid-fire Japanese, repeatedly crossing her arms with an X and vigorously pointing to our shoes while ushering us back to the elevator. We shuffled off, completely confused, but eventually learned that what we'd done wrong is that we had worn the yukata robes meant only for the visiting bathing area, and the slippers meant to keep any uncleanliness confined to the bathroom in the wrong area of the hotel. I'm not sure we would have got the same reaction in an American hotel, even if we'd shown up barefoot. In any case, that was the start of my adventure in Japan and Japanese culture. Keen not to make another faux pas, my friend and I watched people using the bath to learn the etiquette before entering ourselves. I returned to Japan a few years later for a 2-week solo trip, and I hope to visit again very soon. Until then, I live vicariously through the YouTube channel and the podcast. Thank you guys, Andrea from Boston in their yukata. Dear, oh dear. I mean, it's confusing, isn't it? It's confusing because in ryokan, a traditional Japanese inn, you do wear the yukata. You go to the bath, then you stick it on, you go and have dinner. But I guess a lot of hotels, you don't do that. But that's not as bizarre as you think. That's actually fairly normal. So maybe it was the hotel that was the anomaly, not you, in that case.
Yeah. When you see the arms crossed kind of like, no, it's the most thrilling move in any restaurateur or hotel workers kind of, because you do walk in and they do the hand thing, and it's the same when wrestlers are legitimately injured and they need the match to sort of stop. The referee will throw up those hands to tell the back room that we need to go to a finish and we need to pin someone to finish the match. And so when you see when I'm doing something wrong and someone goes, no, it means like restaurant's closed. I'm like, is someone injured? Do we need to do the pin? It is thrilling.
It's weird, though, isn't it? I mean, a lot of hotels, this wouldn't be a problem, though. So I think it was just a strange hotel. Yeah, to be honest.
I mean, I think going down to breakfast in a robe is some hotels are fine with it in the West, I would say.
Don't do it in upper hotel.
Don't do it in an upper hotel.
No,
it's probably not.
Yeah.
Never mind. I mean, I would have left the hotel and never come back, but Andrea from Boston, USA. But I would have left from the fire. Could you tell me where the fire exit is? Straight out the fire exit, and I would have just kept walking, leaving all my stuff behind.
I stayed at your beloved Upper Hotel in Osaka, which we stayed at when we went, and you ruined the room with your luggage.
All bed, no floor. It's just the rooms are all bed, no floor. It's just all bed, no floor. If you like the entirety of the floor to be dedicated to bed, it's great. If you hate floors, fine. Upper.
But it's a very odd hotel. The rooms are quite well kitted out, and they've gotten better actually. There used to be that one wafer thin pillow from hell where you'd have to like fold it like a bit of paper multiple times to stick your head on it. Now there was 4 pillows on my bed, so I was very happy.
Whoa.
But it's crazy. Like, it's owned by a very wealthy couple, the CEO and his wife, or I think the wife is the CEO rather confusingly, and
right.
They've got this product
that feels like a man who thinks he's going to go to prison soon, doesn't it? I've got a hotel chain, but it's in my wife's name. Okay,
it's quite a rare thing, though, isn't it? Yeah, for a woman CEO in Japan, full stop.
Yes, exactly.
And she's very much the shacho, which means like president or head of the company. And they have this thing up called shacho curry, and it's like curry with her face on it when she's in like a nice exotic hat.
She always has exotic hats on. Lots of different exotic hats, yeah.
But I'm always like, who wants that? Who wants that curry in particular?
Who wants
Who's
that
like,
curry?
yeah.
If you're going into a hotel, presumably you can't set up a hot plate in the hotel. So you can't be cooking yourself a little curry. Remember that man who got caught putting a crab in a kettle? That was an old news story from abroad Japan.
Yeah.
Classic abroad Japan fare, that.
Crack out the sachet curry. I mean, you could buy a curry and go and put it in the microwave in your room, maybe, if you've got a microwave. But I don't know.
Not an
I'm going off on a tangent here about weird curry. I've never tried it. I'm sure it's all right. If you've had chacho curry, let us know. I'll tell you, won't be having chacho curry, though. The people of China, because China doesn't want its people coming to Japan, although nobody ever listens to these warnings, and it's more a political gambit. What's going on, Pete? What's happening? How's this happened?
Well, China has urged its citizens not to travel to Japan and summoned the country's ambassador in Beijing over Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's comments on Taiwan. China and Japan have been locked in an escalating war of words this week, set off by Takaichi's suggestion that Japan could respond with its own self-defense force if China attacked Taiwan. Obviously, China and Japan, they are awkward bedfellows, let's just say, in that region, as well as obviously long-standing strategic ambiguity on the sovereignty of self-governed Taiwan. That's obviously a big hot-button item. A topic, rather, the current tensions were sparked at a parliamentary meeting in Japan last Friday when Takaichi basically just said that if battleships and the use of force are necessary, or if there are battleships or a use of force in Taiwan, and no matter how you think of it, it could constitute a survival-threatening situation. Then the Chinese embassy in Japan said that citizens should avoid travelling to Japan in the near future over these blatantly provocative remarks regarding Taiwan. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said the atmosphere surrounding people-to-people exchanges is severely deteriorated, posing serious risks to the safety of Chinese citizens, which I, for one, don't necessarily buy. How about you, Chris?
It's a bit of an exaggeration, isn't it? I don't
Yes,
think
a little bit.
anyone really cares.
Bit of a
It's all
storm in the
political.
teacup thing.
It's kind of awkward because they only met, didn't they, the other day in South Korea, and it was like China and Japan are sort of more friendly now, and then 1 week later, worst enemies once again, war, let's go. It's awkward, isn't it? I mean, 2027 is the year that a lot of people think that China might isolate Taiwan or begin the process of taking it over, which would be really easy for China if America and Japan didn't do anything. Because all they need to do is surround Taiwan. They wouldn't need to bomb Taiwan. They just put a load of ships around it, blockade the country, starve it of resources, and just sort of take it over. Bish, bash, bosh. Not a single shot fired. But if America's like, no, sod that, I'm coming, then it gets a little bit more tricky. And it really depends on so many factors, I think. It really depends what mood Xi Jinping's in 2027 and how the state of the Chinese economy is going. But it's something that, it's one of the biggest threats of the next sort of 5 years, really. The next 5 years, that is the largest threat in this part of the world, I would say. More than North Korea, more than the threat of Nankai mega earthquakes and all that sort of stuff. It is the threat of China attacking or invading or taking over Taiwan. And certainly when I was in Ishigaki recently, one of the most southern islands of Okinawa, where I haven't been there in about 4 or 5 years, and where I noticed, like, along the mountain, they've just built this massive military base in the last 2 to 3 years, where I think they're putting like a missile battery or a Patriot system in preparation for that. And a lot of the island chain, the Ryukyu Islands and Okinawa, are being built up with military bases and whatnot in preparation for the worst case scenario, I
just can't help but think that if it happens in the current American setup, by whatever year it's going to be, if it's before, 8, 9, you're going to be in a situation where, America's going to be mainly concerned with Venezuela, Argentina, and places like that, I guess. Funding one and invading the other, and then on the other side, there seems to be a real shift between ignoring what Russia is doing, ignoring what China is doing, and then concentrating on basically bullying, impoverished South American and Central American nations a little bit. So it just seems to be the way.
That's a temporary thing, though. I don't think that'll be around in a year or so. I think the Pacific regions where America's going to throw a lot more of its attention in the years ahead.
I just don't think it will. It's too expensive. Trump, for political reasons, whether he's still in a job after all the Epstein stuff, is another matter. But like, do you not think he's kind of he does understand the politics of his own kind of support, and wars far away from America are very, very unpopular and have been since Iraq and Afghanistan and places like that.
Well, it's an interesting one. It's more a war of necessity, though, in some respects, because TSMC, they make all the world's chips. TSMC is the only company in the world that could make, I think, 2 nanometer chips and various things that we use, and they haven't built those facilities anywhere outside of Taiwan because they can't. And so, if China took that over, the West is sort of fucked, essentially. In fact, I suspect they'll probably just fire some missiles and just blow up the whole TSMC factory and just stop China from having that advantage. But which has been talked about. I've read articles about that, about America considering doing that. What would you rather have? Your arch enemy having the technology, or just blowing it up with a few cruise missiles?
They must be sort of planning to sort of, make that inside of America. Surely that seems to be has to be the way it sort of goes forward.
Yeah, I think they will. But the fact is, the technology is like ridiculous to create this sort of technologies. There's only a few companies that could do it. Like a Dutch company called ASML uses these ultraviolet lithography machines, and they cost like $200 million a pop, and then you've got to integrate that, and just the construction and the knowledge required to build these factories, it will take decades, probably over a decade or two, to build that in America or anywhere outside of Taiwan. So really there's no way around that, and even then I don't think TSMC want to do that, because it's like handing the keys of the kingdom away, isn't it? So yeah, I think that would be enough potentially to trigger American involvement, but it's all a bit scary. It's definitely a bit scary, I feel like. And I saw a video yesterday of like these bipedal Chinese robots. There's some like really popular ones, isn't there? Like is it the Unitree models, G1 that can like walk around? But
it's been very roboty this week, hasn't it? There's been a lot of robot videos kicking around.
It has, and the Chinese government's basically realised the two really big sectors are robotics and AI, and they're throwing ungodly amounts of money at it. While in the UK, we can't build a bridge. And it's like, I watched about 200 of these bipedal robots like salute and walk along and get into a lorry, and it's just like, oh my God. Like,
but I mean, like we've always been consumers in the UK. We're too smart to do anything really right. But do you not think that with I love seeing the robots doing their roboty things. But a lot of these robots nowadays, when they fall over, they don't half kick. They don't half panic and kick. Oh my goodness.
Pete Donaldson has the upper hand now. I can see the wars to come. Pete Donaldson with a stick knocking over bipedal war machine robots.
I'll be hiding behind whatever your dad can build with a welding mask and an old allotment door. That's what I'm going to be hiding behind. I'm going to your house, mate.
But like America had a real lead, Boston and Japan, unfortunately, sort of squandered it. Remember, Asimo the robot in the 80s and 90s. The first really successful bipedal robot that could walk upstairs and climb and things. And then America's got Boston Dynamics, and the robots are incredible. But I feel like China's not only caught up, but it's leapfrogged that because it's subsidized all these companies, and they've built the most incredible robots that can run and walk and do like ninja kicks and spin and stuff, and put a machine gun in one of those hands and let the robots do the fighting for you. They might not be sending soldiers to Taiwan in 3 or 4 years. It might be an army of robots, because then you don't have to see your country's people die off. You can actually use robots.
Well, it's all about the drones these days. Who needs to stand on anything? That's what I would say. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting and unsettling. The sort of the next few years ahead there. And I think you're right, though. I think China will. I think China will evaluate what's the stance of the Americans. if it feels like America won't get involved, then fuck it, go for broke. Why not? But then if you feel like, they might, and Japan might as well, then you might be a bit more reluctant because then it will get messy very quickly. But it's a crazy thing. When I was down on the island in Ishigaki, I was at this little island called Hatoma off the south coast of Ishigaki, and it was beautiful at night. I saw the stars. I saw the whole the swirls of the galaxy, of the Milky Way galaxy at night with a long exposure with the camera. It was beautiful, and yet that island is precariously close to where things would get hot very quickly. And I remember talking to some of the islanders, but they didn't really want to talk about it, so I didn't push them on the issue. But they were like, it's for the government to decide. And I was like, fair enough, but you're going to be, I think you can see Taiwan, or you're very close to Taiwan, about 100 kilometers south. They're going to be really close to lots of things unfolding. So I think Japan is right to prepare and do these things. But I think China's also getting a bit angry over nothing, essentially, and escalating the war of words pretty weirdly and stupidly.
These things happen with those two, don't they?
Domestic politics, eh? We shall see. We're back in a moment, guys. Your stories, comments and questions over in the fax machine.
Wow.
And we're back with the fax machine. What have we got this week from our listeners, Mr. Dawson? Fill us in.
Hello to Mia in London. Hi, Chris and Pete. I visited Japan for the first time a few weeks ago and had a great time with my friends. Although it was my first time in Japan, I've been to South Korea a few times and noticed a big difference between the two countries regarding gym culture. More plates, more dates, muscles. Yes, in South Korea, it's a pretty big thing, but not so much so in Japan. The way gyms are advertised is starkly different. In Japan, you see posters of normal-looking men, normal-looking people working out. Yet in Korea, you see posters of the most muscular men and women you've ever seen. Usually, the gymnasiums are personal trainers. I go to the gym a lot, so it's something that stuck out to me. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts on gym culture in Japan and whether it's changed much in the time that you've been living there. Hope you're keeping well. Many thanks, Mia in London. Body beautiful, Chris? Are people more body beautiful in Korea? I'd probably say that.
My body's not beautiful after what I've done to it in the last few months. It's a body travesty, honestly. That's a good point, though, isn't it? I think South Korea seems to follow the West a lot more closely in most things.
Yeah.
And I feel in the West, a lot of guys want to have muscles to look cool rather than just be fit. And in Japan, they're probably more just focused on let's be fit and let's be healthy. So that doesn't surprise me. I've noticed there's been more and more gyms being built in the last decade, though. There's currently 5,400 gyms in Tokyo as of this month. And I don't go to any of them. And I should. Help me, Pete.
I think with if you look at footage of K-pop stars when they first do their first kind of audition for a big agency, and then see them where they are now, 10 years later, their faces are very different frequently. And not necessarily bodies, but because they're skinny twigs. But there is a real vogue in South Korea for surgical improvement, but also just big old muscle boys hanging around. I went to Korea and I was in that big sort of shopping street, and I was in a hotel. On the roof, and there was there was basically a pool party going on, and I was like, and me and my mate, who we're not body beautiful pool party men, we thought we'll go down, we'll go up and have a little swim. Couldn't really swim, there's too many people there, but everybody had the fakey boobies and the biggie muscles, and everyone was just they all looked like they'd had surgery, and these are young people, man. These are young people. So I think self-improvement, body modifications in that sense, and just balls to the wall, lifting heavy things is a much bigger thing in Japan, and you barely see gyms. The only sort of working out you see in sort of Japan is old people having a little bit of a jog around the park, usually, isn't it?
I'd say there's a lot of jogging going on, though, in Japan in general. But people are just fitter. They are just fitter here. Damn them all with their low
good
BMI.
Knees. They've all got good knees.
Yeah.
Good knees.
People just walk a lot more. They snack a lot less. They're a lot more conscious of their weight. And they all make me look bad. And I need to let the Japanese diet and the Japanese way of life rub off on me more, because it certainly hasn't for the last 12 years. Mickey says, hello guys, I'm looking forward to booking an escape to Okinawa next year. I'd love to take a week to just chill, explore the main islands, and learn to scuba dive. Is there a particular time that's best to visit to avoid dodgy weather on peak tourist season, trying to find the sweet spot for dates? Cheers, Mickey. I went to Okinawa last month. It was good, but it was very, very hot. And that was October. I would say November's good. March, April, pretty nice. May's all right. But June, July, August, September, formidable. Do not go. Do not do it to yourself. I did it before one time, and it was not fun. So yeah, try and stick to spring and autumn. Yeah. And watch out for September, because it's typhoon month. And you don't want to be there for that. You don't want to be there for that, because your plane probably won't be able to land at all. But best of luck to you, though. Lovely place to dive and scuba dive. And finally, Eric says, hello, Chris and Pete. Chris, my grandma has the biggest crush on you. Oh, my God. We watch you guys all the time together. Hello. Oh, that's awesome. Our question to you guys, take that, Pete. I've got a crush.
I'm going to the gym. Going to hit the gym to enchant Eric's gran.
Me not going to the gym hasn't done much. You both travel a lot, but where in Japan would you like to settle down, and why? For my grandma and I, cheers. Eric from Kansas City. Thank you, Eric, and best wishes to your wonderful grandma.
Wonderful grandma.
Where would I settle down? I probably settled down where I used to live. I was very happy up there in the sort of Sendai area.
You just want to be left alone, don't you, Chris?
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Shikoku's lovely in South Japan, but there's lots of insects. When I was down there with Connor for a recent cycle, there was a huntsman spider over our barbecue, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't fun.
Wait a minute.
We had to give it a name to try and humanise it, so I felt less uncomfortable. We called it like Dennis or something. I can't remember what it was called. But we gave it a name, and then he scurried off, and I was like, shit, where's he gone? So I wouldn't go to Shikoku or that neck of the woods for spiders, snakes, and hornets. I'd say, Tohoku, where I used to live, ticked all my boxes. I was very happy up there. Why did I move to Tokyo? What an idiot.
Look,
go up there.
I'm sure Eric's gran would be up for shacking up with you up there as well.
Shut up. Taking a nice, tender, lovely moment and ruined it with your crass remarks. I always do. Keep the stories, questions. Actually, where do you want to live, by the way? I don't want to go on, Mr. Crass. Where do you want to go?
I'd set up in Mount Aso, and I'd get a lovely. I'd refurbish a house, and I'd have a look, and I'd have ideas about writing my book and chilling out or whatever. But I'd spend most of my time in Osaka getting drunk. So there we go. Or Fukuoka. I'll do like Fukuoka.
I think Fukuoka fits you nicely.
Banger.
But Kumamoto would be cool. I'd go there. Unless it erupted. I wouldn't be so good. Keep the stories, questions, comments coming in to me and Crassus at abroadjapanpodcast@gmail.com. But for now, guys, have yourself a great few days. We'll see you right back here to do it all over again on the Abroad Japan podcast. Bye for now.